3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Count on Us, your weekly math program. We are so excited to have you here today. My name is Coach Joseph.
And I am Coach Davis.
Excellent, excellent. So we are here to help you with your math. We are so excited about the new format that we have. This is our 4th episode for the new season. And we have a couple of new segments. Just to talk a little bit about our new segments, we have a homework shout out for this week. And that's a segment where schools get to tell us or ask us what questions they have about math. And we'll try to help you in the studio for your homework help needs. We also have our parking lot. And during the parking lot segment, we will go over some tools to help you with the park test at the end of the year. So there'll be some tools that you'll need definitely to help you towards the end of the year for the park examination. And then one of my favorite segments, if Coach Davis, you could talk a little bit about standards for mathematical practice.
Absolutely. I would be delighted to share standards for mathematical practice with you. So our standards for mathematical practice, sometimes referred to as SMPs, are used by all mathematicians as they think through solving mathematical problems. And so there's a mathematical practice that will be our focus for today, SMP 5, which is using appropriate tools strategically. And so one of our coaches will share a strategy with you on how to be a good mathematician as you're using those tools appropriately.
Excellent, excellent. So I look forward to seeing that segment. I know using math tools is so important. They help us understand math, and we use tools every single day. So we're really excited about seeing that format as well.
And can I just add on?
So
Wait, did you mention our trivia?
Oh, yes, our trivia.
I would like to encourage you to watch the entire show, because at the end of the show, you will be asked a trivia question based upon something that happened during the show. Should I give them a hint about which segment?
Go ahead and do so.
It would be related. A big hint. It has something to do with the SMP, which is our standard for mathematical practice. So please pay very close attention when that particular segment comes on.
Yes, indeed. One of the things that I failed to mention is that we also have a fluency activity. These are games that you can play at home, and each episode will have a fluency activity. We'll model a game that you can actually play at home to get better at math, and we all want to get better at math.
Okay, and so we are looking forward to a very exciting show with you, where we'll give you an opportunity to see some of the things that go on to support mathematics throughout all classrooms, and then we'll answer specific questions that you may have based upon assignments that were happening.
Welcome! Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show so far. Today we're bringing you the standard mathematical practice number 5. Now, if you had a job to paint your house and I provided you with a pencil and a piece of paper, did I provide you the appropriate tools to get the job done? No, you don't have the appropriate tools. The 5th mathematical practice is to use appropriate tools strategically. Just like the painter trying to paint the house, you as a student must use the right tools to solve the math problem. All right, so these are some of the manipulatives that you have in your classroom. Let's make sure that we're using the appropriate names. Here we have our snap cubes. What are some ways that you might use snap cubes to solve mathematical problems? Volume, yes. Patterns, yes. Counting, yes. Those are some of the types of questions that you may use these snap cubes to solve your mathematical problem. Now we also have our pattern blocks. We have different shapes. These pattern blocks may also help you make sense of fractions. We have our tiles, our red and blue, and we might come back to them to talk about some of the ways that we can use them. We have our counters. You may be using these to create different arrays or patterns in your classrooms as well. We have our number cubes. These are different ways that you can set up math problems during engagements. Our base 10 blocks. This is where everything begins. Kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade. And then we have our fraction tiles, making sense of fractions, creating equivalent fractions, and also comparing fractions are where fraction tiles can be. Now, we do have an example today where we are going to solve for area and perimeter. Think about which tool might be the most appropriate to solve this task. Tyler's bedroom has a wall that is 8 feet long and another wall that is 6 feet wide. The bedroom is shaped like a rectangle. What is the area and perimeter of Tyler's room? All right, now let's solve for the area and perimeter of Tyler's bedroom. Let's remember the perimeter is the distance around any shape, and in this case, it's the distance around the room. The area is the inside of the shape, in this case, the area of this bedroom. Let's remind ourselves the length is 8 feet and the width is 6 feet. If we were to solve for the perimeter, the easiest way to start is by counting. If we count our first length up to 8, we count our first width to 14, we can count our outside of our opposite length to 22, and our last width to 28. So the perimeter would equal 28 feet. Now, if we're solving for area, you can count the inside tiles to solve for the area. If you counted each row, you would end up with, if you said 48 squared feet, you are correct. If you noticed how to solve for area, if you didn't count each tile or each row or column individually, length times width, in this case, 8 times 6, which equals your 48 feet squared. And thank you for coming into our classroom. Today we solved for area and perimeter in Tyler's bedroom by using the appropriate tools strategically, which is our 5th mathematical practice. Now make sure in your classroom you choose the appropriate tools when you're solving those math tests. Now, back to our anchor.
Thank you, Coach Brenner. I definitely appreciate that segment about the standards for mathematical practice, specifically standard for mathematical practice 5, which is using mathematical tools. So with that, I think we do have a caller, don't we?
Oh, yes. We do have a caller. Caller, are you there? Hello?
Hi.
Hi, is this Michaela from Samuel Massey?
Yes.
Hello, Michaela. Thank you so much for joining us today. Are you working with measurement today?
Yes.
Okay, what exactly can we help you with today?
So today for my homework I have measurement, but today so say if you have a number line but it starts at 95 but it ends at 90 but it ends at 100. So what would be that answer in the middle?
Oh,
okay.
So we are doing measurement on a number line, if I understand you correctly. I thought I heard you say, so I am going to make sense of the problem using mathematical practice number 1 and attempt to help you to solve it. I think I heard you say you have a number line that has 95 and you have 100, and your question was, what would be in the middle? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can count. If we were counting from 95 to 100, what numbers would we say? So we would 95, then what comes next?
96.
96. Okay, so let's look down here and let's see if we can put these in.
Okay.
95, 96. What comes next after 96?
97.
97.
98.
98.
Yes.
And then what?
99.
99. And then what?
100.
100. So, if we're looking at this, I have 95 here, I have 100 here, I have 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So, if I'm talking about the exact middle, what do you think? Are you talking about which numbers are in between 95 and 96? Or are you talking about what number is right here? Because there's not a whole number that's right there, but these are the numbers in between.
The numbers that is in between.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes, indeed.
So the numbers that are in between 95 and 100 will simply, well, it depends. I made an assumption that you were counting by ones. So if you are counting by ones, we will fill in all of the numbers in between 95 and 100. And when we count it by ones, those numbers were 96, 97, 98, 99, and then our ending point 100. Michaela, thank you so much for your call. We appreciate you tuning in today. Your name is going into our treasure chest because we treasure all of our callers, and you can stay tuned to the very end for a question about our SMP for today. Okay? Thank you for your call. And I do believe we have another caller waiting very patiently on the line. Caller, are you there? Hello, caller, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, welcome to Count on Us.
Welcome, welcome.
Can you tell us your name, please?
This is Audra.
Hello, Audra.
How are you doing, Audra?
Welcome to Count on Us. Are you comparing fractions today, or are you doing something else?
I'm comparing fractions with adding fractions and subtracting fractions.
You're comparing fractions, adding fractions, and subtracting fractions. Well, that is quite a bit of fraction work.
A lot of
so
fraction
can we
work.
focus on just one of those for right now? Did you have one in mind that you wanted to focus on?
Yes, I had 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead with the question.
I will write it, and Coach Joseph and I will work together to solve it.
Absolutely.
Okay, what is your question?
This is not like a problem, but it's an equation.
It's an equation. Okay, go ahead.
The equation says 4 over 5 minus 1.
4 over 5
5
minus...
1 over 5.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get the last part.
4 over 5 minus 1/5. 4 fifths minus 1/5.
Okay, so did you say 4 over 5 minus 1 over 5?
Blank 4 over 5 minus 2 over 5.
Okay. Okay, 4 minus...
5th minus 2 over 5.
Oh, okay. All right, so first thing we have to do is attend to precision, make sense of the problem. So the second problem... is correct?
I forgot to tell you, you have to label if it's greater or less than or equal to.
Okay, I'm having difficulty hearing you. Mr. Joseph, Coach Joseph, did you hear what she said?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, are you asking us to figure out each of the answers and then figure out which one is greater than, lesser than, or equal to?
Yes.
Okay, so
exactly
we're
what I'm
comparing
saying.
the answer for a subtraction sentence is a difference, so we're comparing the differences, it seems like. Is that correct?
Okay, so did I write the two problems correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so if we're speaking in fractions terms, and instead of saying 4/5, we can say that this is 4/5. The numerator tells us how many pieces. The denominator tells us how many pieces it takes to make the whole. So let's use our appropriate vocabulary with mathematical practice number 6, attending to precision. So I have 4/5 subtract 1/5. And Coach Joseph will show these pieces. Do we have those?
Excellent, we do. So if we have 4/5, yes. So as we can see here, I have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So
Can you see that, Audra? Hello?
Yes, I can see very clearly.
And so if I
But
wanted, but if I wanted to take one of those fifths away, how many fifths would I be left with?
3/5.
Okay.
excellent.
3/5 is absolutely correct. And I appreciate how you use your fraction vocabulary. So let's take a look at the second part. We have 4/5 again, but this time we would like to take away 2/5. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so now we're taking away 2/5, and how many fifths do we have remaining?
We have 2/5 remaining.
Okay, so if I'm comparing 3/5 to 2/5, which one of those is greater?
3/5 is greater.
Okay, so
Excellent.
we have been able to solve the problem. 3/5 is greater than 2/5. All
Oh,
right.
thank you so much for calling.
I have another question.
We're going to ask you to give us a call back. We have
Indeed.
another segment that's waiting to come on, but we appreciate your call. So give us a call back, okay? Thank you so much for your call, Audra.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And so, are we ready for our next?
Hello?
Are we ready for our next segment?
Okay.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
So it seems like we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to Call On Us.
Count on us.
Count on us. To whom are we speaking with?
Are we taking the call or are we doing a segment? Okay, we're taking the caller. And is this Chloe?
Yes.
Hi, Chloe. Welcome to Count on Us. What is it that you're working with today? Are you at Samuel Massey?
Yes.
All right. And are you in second grade?
Yes.
Okay, and what are you working on?
Word problem.
Oh, word problems are the best type of problems
Excellent.
in mathematics. Okay, so go ahead. Mr. Joseph and I will listen to your problem and we will do our best to assist you. Okay, so what is your word problem?
45.
I cannot.
So 45.
45. 45 what, if it's a word problem?
Caller, can you hear us? 45 what?
Plus 45 plus 47.
45 plus 47. Okay, so this particular problem, a hundreds chart would be great. I think we might have one on top. So with 45 plus 47, since we do not have words to go along with that to give us a context, it's not necessarily a word problem. Okay, so if we're solving this as a second grader might, we might use a hundreds chart to help us out. Okay, so we see the numbers 45, Mr. Joseph, Coach Joseph.
Okay. So we have 45. So we're looking for 45, and we can see 44, 45 right there in the middle. And so we're going to add on to that 47. Now, one thing I could do is I could count each individual one until I get to 47 more, or I could skip count by tens, because in the number 47, there are 4 tens. So we notice that when we go from one row to the next, that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll use our structure, which is standard for mathematical practice 7, and go down a row. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40. Now that I've exhausted my tens, I can count 7 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that lands on 92. So 45 plus 47 equals 92. And we've just practiced one of our standards for mathematical practice 7, but we also used a mathematical tool, which was our SMP for today. So hopefully that helps you out.
And our tool was the hundreds chart to help us keep track of our addition. Okay? Chloe, thank you so much for your call, and stay tuned. Your name is going into our treasure chest because we treasure all of our callers. And I'm not sure, are we taking another caller or going to... We will, caller, thank you so much for calling us today. We're going to ask you to hold on to the line. We're going to take a look at our manipulative of the week.
Okay, so our manipulative of the week is the number line. We wanted to do the number line again, carry it over from last week. So we're going to go over the number line. So with the number line, you can use it for many different reasons. We'll go over how to use it with time. Say you knew that a movie started at 2 o'clock.
And we do have a clock over there.
And that you knew the movie, say it was a shorter feature and it only lasted 45 minutes. So it was a short and it lasted 45 minutes. So if it began at 2 o'clock, and it lasted 45 minutes, we could use the number line to show that. So if I counted by tens, I will go and that's 10 minutes. And then another 10 minutes. And then now we're at another 10 minutes, which would bring us to 30 minutes. Then another 10 minutes, which would bring us to 2:40 p.m. And then if the movie lasted 5 minutes, that would be 2:45. And so just to count, just to double check ourselves, which would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 45 minutes, we would have ended at 2:45 p.m. So that's just one example of how to use the number line. There are several others. You can use the number line throughout most of math. And we definitely think that the number line is a very important tool in using mathematics. So that's our mathematical tool for the week.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Joseph. And our lines are lit up. We are excited for all of our callers. So let's see if we can take another caller. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Count on Us. Can you tell me your name, please?
Bria Jones.
Hello, Bria. And are you a second grade student at Samuel Massey?
Yes.
Hi.
Oh,
and
hi.
are you working with addition today? We have our 100 start.
Okay.
Are you a second grade student and you're working with addition today?
Yeah.
Okay, can you give us your addition problem?
70 plus 5.
70 plus 5. Is that your addition problem?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we can either model that with our base 10 or we can use our hundreds chart. Would we like to use our hundreds chart?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's stay on just so we can further model it.
Okay, so,
All right.
and I'll write the problem again on our hundreds chart,
So
Mr.
we had-
Joseph. And here's a marker for you.
Thank you. So again, we're looking for 70. So again, I can see that there's 7 tens, so if I count downward, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, that's our starting point. And with this, we can count forward 5 units since it's just a single digit number. It's in the ones. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 70 plus 5 ends up being 75.
Okay. Bria, did that help you? Bria, did that help
Yeah.
you? Okay, so do you have a hundreds chart that you can use at home?
Yes.
All right, well that
Excellent.
will be a handy and an appropriate tool for you to use as you're doing your addition.
Yes,
Thank you
indeed.
so much
Thank
for
you
your
so much.
call. We are going to have your name in the treasure chest because we treasure all of our callers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, do we have time for another caller? All right. Thank you so much for calling. I do think we have another caller on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Michaela, you're working with subtraction now? Is this the Michaela that was working with addition before?
Yes.
All right, and you're working with subtraction now. Okay, can you give us your subtraction problem?
35 take away 30.
35 take away 30.
35 take away 30.
All right. Did you see how Mr. Coach Joseph used the hundreds chart before?
Yes.
Okay, so what number do you think we should start with?
35.
So let's find 35 on the hundreds chart. Here it is right here. And if we are taking away 30, should I go up in the column or down in the column, or to the right on the row or to the left on the row?
I think you should go up and on the left of the row.
Okay, so let's go up, and when we go up, we're counting by tens. We're taking away 10. So let's see. How many tens do we need to take away?
30.
We need to take away 30, but 30 gives us 3 tens. So let's count by tens. 10, 20, 30. And where do we end up?
At 5.
Excellent. You're absolutely correct. So if I have 35 take away 30, it is going to give me a difference of 5. And again, we're using an appropriate tool. The hundreds chart is helping us out as we keep track of both our addition and our subtraction. So, Michaela, thank you for your call, and continue to watch our show. Your name is going into our treasure chest. We do treasure all of our callers. And do we have time for another caller, or shall we go on break?
Okay,
we have
caller. Thank you
one
so
more
much for
call.
coming on the air. Who do we have here? Caller.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, welcome, Xavier.
Hi.
Yes, indeed, Xavier from Hillcrest Heights. It looks like you have a comparing fraction question.
And what grade are you, Xavier?
Yes.
Okay.
4th.
4th grade, excellent. So what question do you have about comparing fractions?
Do you have a specific question, Xavier?
Yes.
Okay, give us your question. And Miss Coach Joseph and I will try to help you. What's your specific
4
question?
tenths.
I'm sorry?
4 tenths.
4 tenths?
4 tenths or fifths?
4
tenths.
tenths. Okay. And what are we comparing that to?
4 tenths.
4 tenths. And what are we comparing it to?
4/10 plus
3,500.
3,500ths. Okay.
3,500.
Okay, and so are we comparing or are we adding? Are we comparing or are we adding?
Adding.
Okay, all right, so we're not comparing, we're adding.
Okay, so 4/10 plus 3,500ths. Excellent.
I don't know if we have any decimal grids or not. Okay, so yes, we'll use those, Coach Joseph. Okay, so we need our whole, our flat for our whole, yes.
Okay.
So if this is our whole and we want to show 4/10, that means we need to break or partition the whole into 10 equal parts. Okay, so we have
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'll let you go ahead and do
okay,
that.
so we have we have a whole and we have 10 tenths. We only need 4 of those tenths. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. And if you will notice right here with our very, very small pieces, let's put them on here.
Okay.
And we see that it's going to take 10 of those. And it's going to take 10 of those to fill in one of our tenths. So it's going to take 100 of these to fill our whole in completely. So each one of these would represent 1/100th. So if I am adding 3,500ths, I can use my 3/10, which is the same as 30/100ths. And now I need 5 more. Okay? So if I'm adding these together, adding simply means I'm combining. So how many tenths do I have?
Let's go ahead and count that out.
1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 7/10 plus how many hundredths?
Looks like 100th, 200th, 300th, 400th, and 500ths.
5/100ths. And I know that my 7/10 is the exact same size as 70/100ths, so I can add my 5/100ths, and that is going to give me a total of 75/100ths. So I'm going to write it right here, 75/100ths. And I can also write it as a decimal if you're working with decimals, as 75/100ths. Xavier, did that help?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for your call. Xavier, I want you to stay tuned because we're going to grab a snack and be right back on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I came back to Madison today. It was something I wanted to do. I told my parents way before that I wanted to give back to the community because as soon as I made it, I wanted to help others and inspire them. And I think this is going to touch many of the kids that got a book bag today and the kids that are going to get a book bag. Hopefully just to motivate them and know that there's people behind them that's made it and that's been in their shoes and just want them to work as hard as they can. And just give them a little boost, give them some school supplies so they don't have to worry about it. I know me growing up, I used to lose my pencils and pens and everything, so they got a couple of pens, glues, almost everything, a nice book bag, and I hope that motivated them. I hope I do something every year, just come back, get book bags, and just go bigger and bigger, make playgrounds, basketball courts, everything, just to help the community.
Parents.
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 Parents. It's safe to say that the start of the digital age, and specifically the internet, smartphones, and social media, have brought unique and dangerous challenges to the current generation of parents.
As a bonus challenge, the technology that both helps parents and also poses danger to our kids' safety is ever-changing.
The best way to face these parenting obstacles is to educate yourself about them, and we're here to help with that.
Talk openly and often about online safety with your children.
Install safety monitoring software on their cell phones, like Norton Family Premier.
Phone Share for Android will definitely help monitor all cell phone activity.
Limit screen time and designate specific areas for internet use.
Establish clear rules and safety principles.
Stay up to date on social media and online trends. It's always a good idea to sign up to monitor what's new and what apps kids are using.
For more information, visit us on the web at www.pgcps.org or call 301-952-6384.
Am I bringing this in?
Yes, go ahead.
Welcome back to the second half of your new and outstanding
Yes, indeed.
Count on Us math show. We're here to help you with math problems as well as give you some strategies to help you be an excellent mathematician both in your class and just as you're solving problems throughout. I am Coach Davis with my fabulous partner,
Coach Joseph.
and we're here to help you with your problems. We have one more caller that has been patiently waiting on the line, and then we'll be able to share some additional strategies with you. I think this is Audra, who has been so very, very patient. Is this you, Audra?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for your patience. I know when you called the first time you had several questions about fractions, so we want to continue to help you with those fraction questions. So what is your fraction question? If other viewers are out there watching and they'd like to give us a call, the number is 301-772-0080. So you can join Audra in getting some answers to some math questions that you have. Okay, Audra, nice and clearly, what is your math problem related to fractions?
It is based on the same topic.
Okay.
My question is 2/4 minus 1/4 blank 1/4. It's the same thing. It's either greater than, less than, or equal to.
Oh, okay. So now I understand. So 2/4 subtract 1/4, and then I want to compare the difference to 1/4. So if I have 2/4 subtract 1/4, is that difference going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 1/4? Am I understanding your problem, Audra?
Yes.
Am I understanding your problem, Audra?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Okay.
Hello?
I'm sorry. All right, so let's use our fraction tiles again because that visual really helps us out. So if I have 2/4, and I'm taking away 1/4, what value does that give me? 2/4 take away 1/4 gives me how much?
2/4.
2/4 take away 1/4 or subtract 1/4 leaves me with how many fourths?
1/4.
Very good, 1/4. And if I'm comparing this 1/4 to this 1/4 over here, what can I say about these two? Is 1/4 greater than, less than, or equal to 1/4?
I think it's equal to.
You are
Excellent.
absolutely correct. And how did you know it was equal to?
Because 1/4 plus 1/4.
Yep, I heard you say 1/4 equals 1/4.
Yes, they are the exact same size and exact same shape. So that means that they are equal, and sometimes we say equivalent. Audra, thank you so much for your call. We appreciate you calling in, being a faithful fan of our Count on Us show. So again, stay tuned to the end of the show when we will have a trivia question for you related to the SMP. And so, Mr. Josephs, we have some fluency things that we'd like to do, yes?
As always, we have our weekly fluency activity. This is a game that you can play at home to build your numeracy and fluency with mathematics. So, we have here 2 dice. We pull out our number line, so make that more prevalent. We have here 2 dice. And what we want to do is we're going to roll the dice, and our goal is we're going to compare fractions. So I'm going to roll my dice, and I have a 3 and a 6. So my goal is to create a fraction that is lesser than 1. So if I have 3, 6, I can create the fraction 3, 6. Once I've done that, I want to go ahead and put that on a number line. And you can make a number line on anything. If you have a ruler, you can draw a line, and we can go from there. So if I have 3, 6 and put that on the number line, I'm going to divide it into 3 or 6 parts. And if I put 3, 6, that's 1, 6. If you can draw that out, help me out, thank you. 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, and 5, 6. And 6, 6 finally. That would give us 1. And so if I put that on the number line, that would be at 3, 6. So the next person, our partner, would also roll the die.
Okay.
I don't like losing. I do not like losing.
Okay, so let me take a look at the fraction I've rolled. I have a 2 as my numerator and a 2 as my denominator. So when my numerator and denominator are the same, that means that I have rolled a fraction that is equivalent to 1 whole. So I have 0 halves, 1 half, and 2 halves. Mr. Joseph, Coach Joseph, if we're trying to get as close to 1 as we can, I think I gotcha.
And so if we're playing against each other, she's won that point, and we would go back and forth, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. And that's just our little game. It's like a war type game where we're it's like a battle type game to figure out who has the greater fraction,
All right, and so we had an opportunity to practice our fractions. And so our activity coming up now is the parking lot. Later on in the spring, you will be taking the park assessment in grades 3 through 8. So take a look at a strategy that can help you with that.
To a new Count on Us segment called The Parking Lot. I'm Coach D.
And I'm Coach Brenner. Within this segment, we'll be looking at online park tools that students need to be comfortable with in order to be successful on the park assessment.
Let's get started. Today we're going to be looking at questions that we have to use the park tools for.
Now these tools may be used for the online park assessment. Now you may be asking yourself, how do we practice these at home?
Well, first we have to go to park.pearson.com.
Once you're there, you go to your test preparation tab and practice tests. Scroll on down.
And then you get to click on the mathematics practice test.
Now within here, you have different grade levels. Whichever grade level you are, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or so on, you click on that particular grade level. Once you click on that grade level, it gives you 4 different computer-based unit tests.
Today we're going to be working with 3rd grade, and we're going to be using the Unit 2.
Now, once you're here, you can enter your name. We're just gonna move along so we can get to the two tools that we're gonna focus on today, the drag and drop and the answer eliminator tool. All right, so let's go to question 5.
And Coach Brenner, the question says, which two ways shows how to find the value for 7 times 40? Select the 2 correct answers.
So one of the strategies here is I know that 2 of these answers are correct, which means 3 of them must be wrong. First, I'll try to solve it as best as I can. So here, we know that we have 7 times 40. If I'm multiplying by place values, 7 times 4 is 28. If I want to bring my 0 over, I know that my product is going to be 280. Now, if I look at my answer choices, I have 7 times 4, 4 times 10, 7 times 4 times 10, 7 groups of 4 ones, and 7 groups of 4 tens. The answer eliminator is this X right here. Now, if I know my question was 7 times 40, 7 times 4 would not be enough because I know that that is 28. 4 times 10 is 40. I can eliminate that. Now, answer C. This might be a little tricky. I can skip over it. Let's go to something else that might be a little simpler. 7 groups of 4 ones. I already did that in question A, and within my answer choice, 7 times 4 I knew was 28. I could eliminate that. Just by eliminating 3 of the incorrect answers, I know that my answer choices must be C and E. Now, I would still do the work here. 4 times 10 is 40, so 7 times 40 is the same as this correct response. 7 groups of 4 tens is exactly the same as that question. Any other questions for this answer eliminator? Nope, because you already got it correct.
This has been The Parking Lot with Coach D
and Coach Brenner. Hopefully you're practicing these tools within your classroom and at home so that you're comfortable once it's time for that park assessment. Remember, we're trying to get those 4s and 5s any way possible. The answer eliminator will help you get there. Now, back to the studio.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, thank you, Coach Brenner and Coach D with our helpful parking lot. I always look forward to this segment because it helps us with the park test later on this year, and we all know that that's so very important. But it does seem like we have a caller on the line. Welcome to Count on Us.
Okay, caller, are you there?
Kayden.
Hi, Kayden. Welcome to Count on Us. And you're in 2nd grade at Samuel P. Massey, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and are you working with addition?
No.
No, you're not. What are you working with?
Huh?
What problem do you have for us to help you with?
300 plus 1 million.
300 plus 1 million.
So
All
I think I heard you say plus. That does seem like it's addition. So is plus addition, Kayden?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It is addition. All right.
300 plus 1 million. How many zeros are there in a million?
Huh?
How many zeros are in 1 million? Do you know?
20.
Oh,
okay.
well, let's take a look at it. I thought I heard you say 300 plus 1 million. So if we talk about our place values, this is ones, tens, hundreds. We have our comma, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million. So most of the time we add up or align our place values. So 1 million plus 300 would be 1 million 300. So 300 plus 1 million, if I lined up my place values and add it, I'm just going to add on my 300. 1,300,000 is our addition solution or our sum. Kayden, thank you so much for your call. We treasure all of our callers that call in, so thank you so much for your call, Kayden. And I think we have a school that would like to hear their school shouted out. All right, let's see which school has been working hard in math. We're ready for our shout out. All right.
My name is Anthony from Princeton Elementary School, and I would like help with adding and subtracting factors with unlike denominators.
Yep, that was Princeton Elementary School. We thank you so much for your question, and hopefully we can answer that question in studio right now.
And I believe it was, how do you add fractions with unlike denominators? And if we recall, the numerator is the top number of our fraction. The denominator is the bottom number of our fraction. So I have the fraction 1/2 plus 1/4. And so can we model that, Coach Joseph?
Absolutely.
So 1/2 plus 1/4. And so if I have an unlike denominator, that simply means the size of my pieces are not the same size. So I have to think of a way so that I can have pieces that are all the same size. So if I look right here, my half covers up my fourth. So maybe I can use fourths. So let's try that out, Coach Joseph.
Let's see if it matches.
So if I look, I can see that 1/2 is the exact same size as 2/4. So that means it is equivalent. So if I want to add 1/2 plus 1/4, I can rename my 1/2 as 2/4. And my 1/4, I don't have to rename. It remains 1/4. And so now I can simply push them all together and count to see how many I have. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So right here, if I'm adding fractions with unlike denominators, first thing I'm going to do is to find what's called a common denominator. So depending upon what grade you're in, you could work that out mathematically. Coach Joseph, would you like to walk us through working it out mathematically?
Absolutely. We all sometimes have fraction tiles, but sometimes we also want to do it mathematically. So we're looking at 1/2, and we want to find an equivalent fraction to 1/4. So we think to ourselves, if we look at the denominators and we saw that the denominators were 2 and 4, what is a common denominator that we can find? So my question is, what do I have to multiply 2 by to get to 4? And it looks like if I multiply it by 2 seconds, which is 2 halves, I apologize, which is also 2 over 2, which is also 1, it doesn't change the value, but it does give me a common denominator.
Coach Joseph, I have 2 pieces right here, and I had to multiply by the number 2. So if I have a fraction model, it will tell me what I need to multiply by.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then what happens next, Coach Joseph?
So if we multiply going across, we would have 1 times 2, which would give us 2, and then 2 times 2, which would give us 4. And so we get the same common fraction, or the same equivalent fraction, 2/4, and we know that 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4 from looking at our model as well.
And again, so now that we have the common denominator of the equivalent fraction 1/2 being equivalent to 2/4, we can go about our addition just as we did before. Okay, so here, 2/4 plus 1/4 will give us 3/4. All right. Hey, there's an alarm going off.
Oh, no.
Coach Joseph, what does that
I think that alarm means that it's time for our trivia question. So if you've been watching the show all along and you've been paying attention, you knew that we had a standard for mathematical practice 5, and there was a specific manipulative that Coach Brenner modeled at the end of that segment. So if you can call in right now and tell us what manipulative was used, we will go ahead and give you a prize at your school.
The number is 301-772-0080. And so the question is, what was the tool that Coach Brenner used to show using an appropriate tool with Standard for Mathematical Practice 5? And the lines are now open.
Okay, caller. Welcome to Count on Us again. Do you have an answer for us?
Yes.
Caller, are you there?
Good, huh?
Okay.
Are you there? What was the tool Coach Brenner used to show Standard for Mathematical Practice number 5 today? What tool did he use?
Answer eliminator.
An answer eliminator. You would be absolutely correct if I had asked about the parking lot and which tool he used on the parking lot. It was the eliminator, but I did not ask about the parking lot. At the very beginning of this show, we had Standard for Mathematical Practice number 5, so that is what we're looking for. Next caller, are you there? Caller,
Yes.
are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so with our Standard for Mathematical Practice number 5, what was the tool Coach Brenner used?
I think subtract or...
He did not use subtraction. We're looking for that tool. They were red and blue. Next caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
What tool did Coach Brenner use with Standard for Mathematical Practice number 5 that was appropriate? What was the name of the tool? It was red and blue. Do you know what tool he used?
Counter squares.
He used counter squares or colored tiles. And your name, please? Your name?
Xavier.
Xavier!
Yes, indeed.
Yay! Xavier! Knew that an appropriate tool when you're finding the area or the perimeter would be using square tiles.
Yes,
Okay, so Xavier, you, make sure Xavier, you are calling from Hillcrest Heights, yes?
Yes.
All right. So a special prize is coming your way. And so, our other callers, we appreciate you so much for calling. We treasure you. Your name has gone into the treasure chest. And let us see, Coach Joseph, you have pulled out Kayden from Samuel Massey that wanted to know what is 1 million plus 300? All right.
You are our caller of the day. So you should be looking forward to a prize at Samuel P. Massey, and you'll be the envy of all your friends because you called in to count on us, and you were given a prize.
All right. So remember, each Monday and Wednesday, you can join us here to get your math homework questions answered, as well as to find out additional strategies that you can use to become an excellent mathematician. If you are still holding on the line and you did not get your question answered, you can email us at COU@pgcps.org, and we will email you a response back. So we appreciate all of our callers. Remember, each Monday and Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.,
yes, indeed,
you can learn about mathematics with Standards for Mathematical
Practice, Parking Lot, the Homework Shoutout, all of our other segments.
And so we're looking for students to be joining us each Monday and Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. For your mathematics homework show. And remember, you can always count on us. See you next time.